for me to be invited to be the chair for this afternoon's proceedings. So I would particularly like to thank Yankee Packler of the Jewish Historical Society of Ireland for inviting me, and also Maurice Cohen of the Jewish Representative Council of Ireland for giving me such a rare privilege to address you on the centenary of such an important event, not merely in Jewish history or Israeli history, but in world history. Housekeeping, first of all. Emergency exits. There, and directly behind you. There are no emergency exits on this side of the hall. There's no reason for us to have any concerns about that, but those are the exits, and make note of them. Also, because we are human beings, and because some of you have been imbibing richly of tea, you might feel some need to avail of certain facilities. And those are at the bottom, so it's natural that some of you might want to attend to whatever bodily needs occur during the afternoon. So it's men to the left and women to the right. I believe you'll find out when you get down there. I have to welcome, of course, or thank first of all, in addition to Yankee and to Morris, the Dublin Hebrew congregation for hosting us here in the Samuel Tucker Hall. Nora and Hagit for their help today, Michael Fitz for his enthusiastic willingness to record these events for posterity, and everyone else who has helped to make today happen. And it's a very important day indeed. I want to welcome the Israeli ambassador, Ze'ev Boker, Simon Mamouni, of the First Secretary and Deputy Head of Mission at the Australian Embassy, the New Zealand Honorary Consul, Alan McCarthy, and Rabbi Lent. So welcome to them and welcome to you all. As you know, today's event commemorates a number of centenaries of momentous importance that took place 100 years ago. 1917 had not so far been a good year for the pro-British Zionist Nili network, which had been founded by the agronomist Aaron Aronson, and which had been supplying the British with vital military intelligence. Two of their members, Netzar Yisrael, Joseph Lishansky and Naaman Belkind, had been captured by the Ottoman forces in late summer of 1917, interrogated, tortured, before being hanged in public in a square in Damascus. The founder member, Aaron Aronson, was in America at the time. His sister, Sarah Aronson, she too was captured, she too was tortured, managed to get her hands on a revolver and shot herself, dying 4 days later. Aaron Aronson played a vital role in accumulating intelligence for the use by the Allies in the coming battles. On the 31st of October 1917, in the Battle of Beersheba, one of the highlights of the war in the Middle East, led by the Australian Light Horse, the Wellington and Auckland Mounted Rifles, also the Wellington and Auckland Rifles, the town of Beersheba fell. It was a shocking blow for the Ottoman Empire, made possible by Jewish intelligence. 2 days later, the British Army's 21 Corps, led by Lieutenant General Sir Edward Bulfin, took the city of Gaza, or the town of Gaza, in the Third Battle of Gaza. And Bulfin is of interest to us here because he's a local boy. He was from Rathfarnham, and he was the highest ranking Irish Catholic general in the British Army in the Great War. These double blows at Beersheba and Gaza successfully opened the way for General Allenby to liberate Jerusalem a few weeks later. It is said that General Bulfin, a devout Catholic, entered the town on his knees. It's worth remembering at this point that in the battles from the 31st of October to the final day of the year of 1917, 4,700 British soldiers were killed in action in the various battles, and 360 Anzac soldiers also fell. Around this week falls the centenary of some of the Irish who fell in other regiments, not Irish regiments for the most part, in October, November 1917. These include Maurice O'Regan of Limerick with the Royal East Kents, Lawrence Ryan of Dublin with the Essex Regiment, Joseph Shea of Kilkenny in the Royal Irish Regiment, Regimental Sergeant Major Patrick Joseph Lenihan and Trooper Francis McGrath and Trooper Francis Kelly of the Australian Light Horse, Patrick Mannix of the Auckland Mounted Rifles, and Francis Tooley of the Canterbury Mounted Rifles. But the major event we're here today to commemorate occurred on the 2nd of November, as Bulfin's men closed in on Gaza. Britain's Foreign Secretary Arthur Balfour sent a letter to Lord Rothschild declaring Palestine to be the natural home of the Jewish people. This letter we now know as the Balfour Declaration. This paved the way for the establishment of the State of Israel 30 years later, in May 1948, as the oldest nation in the world became the newest state. As David Ben-Gurion once said, it doesn't matter what Gentiles say, it matters what Jews do. And Jews accordingly did. The format for this afternoon is we have 4 speakers. Each will speak for 30 minutes. I will give them a reminder 5 minutes before the time that the time is approaching, 5 minutes before they cease speaking. This will be followed by 9 minutes of questions.